Welcome back, ladies and gents. We are starting the day off with a 3-minute cold plunge, and then we have a full upper body day today. So I recently switched to the upper-lower split, giving into the upper-lower split propaganda. You've probably seen it all over social media. I've basically done push-pull legs my entire life, so it's a nice little switch. But today we're gonna, I'm gonna take you guys through basically an entire upper day. This is our third upper day, so we're doing upper-lower, rest, upper-lower, upper, and then we're doing a high rock. So that's kind of our training split right now with a lot of running. But today's workout, I'm basically gonna walk you guys through how to properly execute all these different exercises. I've done a lot of different exercise, how to properly do an exercise videos on my TikTok and stuff like that, but I'm gonna take advantage and just go really in depth on this long form content. So it's just gonna be a full workout, it's gonna be raw. I'm gonna show you guys how hard you need to be pushing to actually fucking grow in the gym. But like I said, we're starting with 3 minutes on the cold plunge, then we're gonna do about 20 minutes in the sauna, and then we see you guys on the floor. Sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit, it's pretty fucking cold. I think it's what, 39? Or maybe it goes up. The temperature always goes up when we get in. What's it at now? 44, so it's at 38, so I'm a hot body clearly, but thanks again for tuning in, guys. Like I said, posting every single week, so all the support is fucking amazing. You guys are keeping me going. Let's get into this. Exercise number 1 is going to be a Smith machine overhead press. This is a great alternative if you don't have a good machine overhead press. We have one here, we just don't really like it. A dumbbell is also a good option, but what I really love about the Smith machine is that it's on a set bar path, so it's really good at biasing that front and side delt. You do need to remember as well, any overhead press is also gonna bias your side delts. So a lot of people think it's only gonna be your front delts. Doing an overhead press, having it in your programming is gonna be really important for your overall strength, your overall pressing, but it's also gonna help you grow those side delts, not just the front delts. In terms of the setup here, make sure that the bench is actually at 45 degrees. A lot of people like to have it directly at 90. This is gonna make it a lot more comfortable on your shoulders. Way less pressure when you're just going directly up and it's flat. So make sure you have this at 45 degrees. In terms of your hand placement, it's mainly comfort, but I will usually start at shoulder, and then I'll go just a little bit on the outside. That's all preference, but for me, it's just outside shoulder width. Let's get into the top set. That flew. First time we've done that in a while. That felt good, baby. Okay, so I hit 10 reps there, and my rep range for this exercise was 5 to 8 reps. So obviously I exceeded that. I haven't done this in a while, so I just underestimated my strength a little bit. But when you are doing something in a rep range, so let's say it's 2 to 8, once I hit the end of my rep range, that is your sign to go up in weight and then restart your rep range. So in this case, I hit 10, but my rep range was 5 to 8. So I added 10 pounds per side, so we went from 225 to 245, and now I'm gonna be aiming for 5. At the very minimum. If I get 5, 6, or 7, that's totally fine. But once I get to the end of my rep range, I will increase the weight once again. And obviously that is what progressive overload is, but that is the key to getting stronger, guys. So make sure you guys are tracking your lifts so you know how much you need to push and how many reps you need to get. We got 5, we're getting 6 next week, baby. Fucking A. Exercise number 2, we have a T-bar row. T-bar row, you can manipulate it to do either lats or your upper back. In this case, this T-bar row only gives you the option to do your upper back. So this is gonna be mainly upper back, traps, rhomboids. So when you are performing this exercise, any back exercise, I highly suggest using straps. And to anyone who's gonna say, oh yeah, my grip doesn't fail, your grip is always gonna be weaker than your entire posterior chain. So your hamstrings, any back movement, you are gonna benefit greatly from using straps, and you're gonna get a couple more reps, which is gonna help you a ton for your back or your hamstrings for that muscle hypertrophy. So make sure you guys are using straps. I know it's more of an ego thing that you're like, oh, I don't need them, but trust me, you're gonna benefit greatly. When you guys are doing the T-bar row, make sure you are getting a full stretch at the bottom. I see so many people stopping before they get the stretch, and then they end up coming off the bench and using a bunch of momentum and really not performing the exercise properly. So make sure you're getting a full stretch, keeping your chest on the pad, coming up with your elbows flared because we're trying to target that upper back, and you want to do like a slight squeeze at the top and then slow on the way down. Make sure you're controlling those reps. Once again, we're going to 5 to 8 reps here. Let's get into it. Those 7 clean ones, like I said, my rep range is 5 to 8. So I'm gonna go for 8 next week. Once I hit that, then we'll go up and we'll repeat the process, baby. Whew. Okay, now we have a flat press. This is our first chest movement. There's some machines that just inflate your ego. This is one of them. Pull out the gym pin. Feel like the man now. Ooh. Anyway, chuck that on there. So when you're doing a flat press, one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people make is they overextend and they roll their shoulders forward. So they'll come like this and then they'll end up overextending. One, a lot of front delts when you're doing that, and you're losing tension in your chest. So what you want to do, stay upright, and then when you're pressing, you don't want to fully extend. It's okay at the odd time to fully extend if you're catching your breath, but for the most part, you want to come right before you fully extend. That's going to keep a lot of tension on your chest, and it's just, you're going to connect much better, and you're just going to get a hell of a lot more out of the movement. So once again, 5 to 8 reps here. Let's get into it. Once again, fucking went too light. That's 10 reps, so we're gonna go up probably another 10 or a 25 on the gym pin and go for 5 reps, baby. Okay, we got a wide grip lat pull down. This is gonna be for your lower lats. With the pull down, biggest mistake I see people do is just swinging way too much. You really wanna focus on getting a good contraction. So I don't suggest getting a full stretch, because what'll happen is your lats will actually lose tension once you get up here. So as you'll see, I will basically stretch to around here instead of here, just to keep tension on those lats, and then I'm coming through the movement like this. So that was only 6 reps, but a set like that where all 6 reps were fucking hard is gonna be better than a set with 15 reps where the first 10 were fucking 0 fatigue and you barely felt anything. So that's why I like the lower reps. The next exercise, we have a cuffed lateral raise. Biggest mistake I see people make when performing this exercise is they will go directly out to the side. This applies with dumbbells, machine, whatever type of lateral raise variation you're doing. If you're going directly out to the side, you're gonna get a lot of trap activation and not as much side delt activation. So that's why you see so many people with overdeveloped traps and underdeveloped shoulders. So one thing you wanna focus on is going more around 15 to 30 degrees, leaning slightly forward, engaging your core, and coming up like this rather than like this. Lateral raises are fucked because literally added 10 pounds to this thing and it felt like I added the entire stack. This is also a really heavy stack, but nothing is more humbling than fucking lateral raises. Holy shit. Now we have a chest fly. When you're performing this exercise, this is kind of a like weird chest fly. Most gyms won't have this, but same principles will apply. Once again, biggest mistake I see is people overextending
Same thing when they're pressing, they'll just overextend like this. You want to keep your shoulders down and your shoulder blades pinched together. And then when you're coming, think about almost like wrapping your hands around a tree. Sounds really weird, but if you just picture that and then reach as far as you possibly can, you're gonna feel it so much more in your chest. And then the other thing too is make sure you're getting good range of motion. I see a lot of people coming like halfway and then they stop because that's where it gets difficult. Make sure you get a good stretch, good range of motion, and then like I said, pretend like you're almost extending and giving a tree a massive fucking hug. So you'll really want to break form, like even on there, like my body wanted to come forward just to finish the rep, but then like I said, you're taking the tension off your chest and you're putting it all in your front delts. So make sure you're keeping that good form and don't cheat just to get a couple other reps. Like that is not a form of progressive overload if you're breaking your rep to get that extra rep. Make sure you guys keep the same form when you are progressive overloading. I know this workout's kind of all over the fucking place. Like I said, we're testing this new upper lower split. So basically hitting every muscle group, playing around with the volume to see how everything goes. But right now we're doing a cable curl supersetted with a rope push down. Not really many tips on this. For your biceps, you just gotta find an exercise you enjoy and you gotta stick to it. I connect very well with the cables over the dumbbells. With the dumbbells, I find myself swinging a lot. So make sure that you guys are kind of keeping as strict form as you possibly can. Same thing with the rope push down. A lot of people will go too heavy. I'm guilty of this. And then you end up using way too much front delt. So really just find a weight you can actually feel in control and leave your ego at the door, especially when it comes to your arm training. Another common mistake I see people make when training arms is they just chase a pump. As you saw, I was fucking very, very close to failure, maybe 1 RIR. That's how you're gonna grow. Let the pump be a byproduct of a good set. Don't chase a pump because that's not how you're gonna grow your arms. So on this exercise, lead slightly forward and then you wanna fully extend as far as you possibly can to hit that long head of the tricep. Oh. No matter how much I grow or how much bigger I get over the years, I always feel fucking insecure when I take my pump cover off. That's why it's like 34 degrees here and I'm wearing fucking sweats and an oversized shirt. The more you work out, like, the less you want to reveal your physique. It's fucking weird. I don't know why, but I think a lot of people can relate to that. Okay, so that is a wrap on today's workout. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Obviously, this one wasn't as entertaining as the others, but a lot more information based. If you guys like this type of content, please let me know. Like I said, obviously, we're experimenting right now with the upper lower, so if it's not the most optimal thing ever, I do apologize. We're just trying to figure out what fucking works for us, guys. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care.